Hi, Dr. Yoshiram here, and today we will be talking about legumes and slow-releasing carbohydrates and how healthy they can be, contrary to popular belief. In the United States, the paleo movement, there's a couple other plant paradox diets out there that recommend really to stay away from beans and legumes and other foods like that. And this is maybe well thought out in one scenario. However, I think the long-term view, that's actually a very poorly thought out belief. The reason is because most of that grains and legumes are not prepared properly. And this is key. When grains and or legumes are prepared properly, i.e. soaked and sprouted, especially maybe even fermented, then they become a nutrient-dense health food that has tons of fiber, gut-healthy fiber, I should say gut-healing fiber. They are slow-burning or low glycemic load, low glycemic index type of foods, so you're not getting any huge sugar spikes. Those foods, when soaked and sprouted, really it actually changes the composition of them, and they become very full of vitamins, minerals, and amino acids. And so they can become these very nutrient dense, slow releasing fuel for you and very healing. And the reality is that most of the longevity centers or blue zones around the world have included these in their diets. And I think a lot of people are suffering from leaky gut or gut intestinal permeability, and that's where the tricky part can come into play. Because if you have a leaky gut or an inflamed gut, i.e. literally microscopic holes in the side of your intestines, and you have these grains and legumes that have not been properly prepared or even properly prepared, but those little pieces literally travel across the gut into your bloodstream, then you make antibodies and autoimmunity ensues and further gut issues ensue. So when you go out to a regular restaurant, or most of you are preparing your typical American meals, these grains and legumes are not being properly prepared. So yeah, it's going to be a disaster waiting to happen. But the key is to not vilify these foods wrongly and take a simple page out of these blue zones where people live the longest in the world, these longevity centers, and again, soaking and sprouting and maybe even fermenting, right? Fermented soybeans in Okinawa, Japan is an amazing health food. So soy is not necessarily bad, legumes are not necessarily bad, grains are not necessarily bad, right? There's a way to prepare these foods and they can be super nutritious, and I say we just take a page out of all the people who are living the longest in the world. I think that will go a long way. Not be too narrow-sighted and go all paleo or all plant paradox on us. And this totally was not planned, but I'm actually eating a little bit of just sauteed veggies and my legumes, so hopefully that's not too disgusting to look at, but you can actually see the sprouts in there, and there's some carrots in there as well, so totally unplanned. But hopefully this serves you well. Thank you very much, Dr. Yoshiram, and forgive the frizzy hair.